The objective of this demo is to understand what is BPC Embedded, also called as BPC Optimized for S4HANA. I prepared the course content. Let's discuss the course content first, what I'm going to cover in this session. Also ask me whatever questions you have in your mind. If you have any confusion or if you want to clarify something, you can ask now so that we can understand BPC Embedded. As part of this course, we are going to discuss what is embedded solution, how can we modeling this BPC embedded, what is integrated planning, how to use BPC functions like work status, audit, security, and there are two tools for the reporting purpose using BPC embedded. One is EPM add-in, another one is analysis for office. These two tools we are going to discuss. We are going to discuss business process flows and the related web reporting and planning. As part of overview of the embedded solution, what is the positioning of BPC embedded? Also, we'll discuss what is SAP HANA, not in detail, just overview of SAP HANA, and overview of business warehouse. What is the use of business warehouse? What are the objects we are going to use in business warehouse? When we are talking about,
hello,
yeah,
Mr. Kiran.
yeah,
My name is Joseph. Okay, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you, Joseph.
Cool, cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So modeling BPC embedded, you can see modeling of real-time info cubes. Real-time info cubes basically stores the data. It is very important object in BPC embedded or BPC optimized for S4HANA. We are going to discuss multi-providers, composite providers, data store objects, planning enabled queries, BPC environments models. There is a functionality called local providers, local characteristics, master data from BPC web client, BPC embedded. How to implement this particular BPC embedded. So basically in this particular unit, we are going to discuss what are the objects you are going to create. BW objects, you can say all these are BW objects from here to here, and environment models, local providers, all these are BPC objects. Now, BPC embedded, we all know it is based on IP functions, integrated planning functions. So what are the IP functions I am going to use? So we are going to understand key features of IP integrated planning and what is integrated planning architecture. And there is a planning model, which is RS plan. So we are going to understand what we can do in this RS plan or IP planning modeler. We are going to understand what is characteristic relationships. Characteristic relationship means, let's say what is based on the currency, I can select the company code. Based on the cost center, I can select the profit centers. So those characteristic relationships we are going to discuss, aggregation levels, filters, planning functions, standard planning functions. So like script logic or whatever in BPC standard, here we have planning functions, planning sequences, and also something called Fox code, Fox formula extension. So you can write some logic here using some code, Fox code. It is same like script logic. So we are going to understand how this Fox code is written. Also, any enhancements, let's say if you have any gaps, you want to create your own functionalities which are not available using BPC embedded. That means any gaps can be implemented using ABAP. AMDP, we call it as AMDP, ABAP Managed Database Procedures. It's a programming. So we are going to discuss one AMDP scenario, in what cases we can use this AMDP scenario. This AMDP examples, and how to debug, because it's a program, how to debug this particular AMDP, that also we are going to discuss. In BPC Embedded, so when we are talking about, basically BPC Embedded is IP plus this particular BPC functionality. So what are the BPC functionalities we are going to use in BPC Embedded? That we are going to discuss. Let's say work status, how to lock the system, how to lock particular data cut, that we are going to discuss, and data audit, if you want to track who changed the data, when he changed. That kind of stuff you can do it using data audit, activating this particular data audit. Security we are going to discuss. Transports, how to transport from one system to another system, quality to production or development to quality, quality to develop production. Compressing info cubes and merging data for the performance. Now, as I said, like EPM add-in. EPM add-in is a tool which we use to develop the reports and input schedules in BPC. So it's basically Excel. In EPM add-in you have MS Excel. Excel is embedded. PowerPoint is embedded. Word is embedded. So we are going to concentrate on EPM add-in Excel. In this Excel, we are going to discuss how to connect this particular IP planning layer, IP or BPC embedded to this particular EPM add-in. What is EPM ribbon? So ribbon means there will be some options in the menu. Those menu options we are going to discuss. We are going to create some EPM reports. We are going to understand what is context. Context is basically you can set your data cut in the report. So that context we are going to discuss. So report editor, EPM pen, formatting, how to format a report or input schedule. And also there are some EPM functions available for BPC Embedded. We are going to discuss those EPM functions. We are going to discuss how to enable this local member formulas. Basically, whatever functions are available in EPM add-in, whether that may be BPC standard or BPC Embedded, we are going to discuss those functionalities. We are going to discuss even how to enable this VBA and API, standard VBAs and VBA and APIs. Now, basically here the main difference is when you compare with BPC standard, you are going to create a planning enabled query. That planning enabled query you are going to call in EPM add-in. So how to create this planning enabled query, how to call this particular query in EPM add-in, that we are going to discuss. And we are going to discuss how to do the rolling forecast here. So you know, right, BPC is a product for designed for forecasting plan, long-term plan. So how to do that? I'm just muting you all. You can unmute yourself if you have any questions. So configuring rolling forecast, other EPM features. There are some inverse formulas which is available for BPC embedded that we are going to discuss. How the top-down distribution function happens, standard top-down distribution function works in EPM add-in, that we are going to discuss, and how the component comments. See, earlier the main negative point for BPC IP, I mean not BPC IP, BWIP was there was no comment functionality. If you want comment functionality, you have to develop some programs. There is a how to document, how to develop comment functionality in BWIP. Now, using this BPC embedded, right, this comment functionality is standard. You can store comments in BPC embedded. Whatever the planning scenario, you can use this BPC embedded for HR planning, you can use headcount planning, you can use for product cost planning, you can use for sales planning, you can use for shipping cost planning, you can use for balance sheet planning, you can use for P&L statement plan. In whatever the planning scenario, if you want comment functionality, you can create a DSO to store the comments, and you can integrate this DSO to this your real-time info cubes using multi-providers, and you can store these comments, whatever the comments you are going to enter in the planning layouts. Same way, this is very important now. Now most of SAP products are using analysis for Office and Design Studio as front end. If you see S4HANA Finance IBPF, it is using analysis for Office and Design Studio for liquidity management or liquidity planning. Analysis for Office and Design Studio can be used for cost center planning, whatever integrated cost center planning we have in IBPF. Whatever P&L statement, balance sheet required for IBPF, that we are going to, system is using analysis for Office and Design Studio. So for every BPC consultant, it is important to understand how to use this analysis for Office and Design Studio. So as part of this, we are going to discuss what is BI and what BI content available, positioning of this analysis for Office and the EPM add-in. So when we have to use EPM add-in, when we have to use analysis for Office, and connecting to analysis for Office and user interface, other stuff, working with the Design Studio. Now, maintaining and using the embedded business process flows. So we have business process flows, that is the unique functionality BPC standard was having. Now the same functionality is added to BPC Embedded. You can call using BPC business process flows, this embedded business process flows. Anyway, it enables the workflow. So performer can submit the data and the reviewer can approve or reject the data. That functionality is available using this particular business process flows. Also, some new functionalities are added in this particular business process flow. You can call any URL. Let's say, look, using this particular business process flow, you want to go to ECC FI transaction to post a transaction. Yes, you can open. Using this business process flow, you want to open NetWeaver uh, business client to create master data or update master data. Directly, you can directly go to NetWeaver business client. Using this business process flow, you can directly open Fiori transaction, Fiori screens, right? That is enabled. Also, due dates enabled. Due dates enabled in the sense, let's say I have in BPFs, I have some activities. Activity 1 should be completed in a particular date, in a particular date. That due date or what you say, deadlines I can set it in business process flows, new functionality added. And also your business process flows are integrated with work status. So when I submit, what work status system should automatically create. When I approve, what work status system should automatically apply, right? That setting also added in business process flows. Web reporting and planning. So there are some web reports, using BPC web client. You can create some reports and input schedules. So that options we are going to discuss in this particular BPC Embedded. So this is the main course content in this particular BPC Embedded. Now, if you see the architecture, what we are going to discuss. So here, if you see this external systems actuals, right? This actual from S4HANA Finance, sorry, not S4HANA Finance, the actuals from S4HANA, right? Not only finance, other modules also. It may be S-log, it may be S4HANA Finance. We are going to discuss an integrated solution, not a solution which enables only finance related stuff. Why I'm saying this statement, I will explain in the next slide here. So any external systems, we have local providers in BPC Embedded. So using that local providers, we can load the data or you can move it to BW. From BW, you can take it to BPC Embedded. Actuals data, you can get real-time data. There is a scenario, right? If you are using this BPC Embedded on top of S4HANA, no need to load data. It's a real-time data. Whether that may be master data, that may be transaction data, it is real-time. There is no ETL process. Now, if you are using standalone BW, so this BW is connecting to different ECC systems, then we have to get a solution which takes data from this particular ECC systems. Then ETL might be required. So we develop the BW space, BW staging you can say. Then we develop real-time info cubes. And this real, based on this real, on top of this real-time info cubes, you can create an aggregation level. Or another scenario, you can create real-time info cubes. For actual data, real-time data, you can enable virtual providers. This real-time info cubes, these virtual providers can be added in multi-providers. On top of multi-providers, you can create aggregation levels. Then on top of aggregation level, planning enabled query. This planning enabled query can be called in any BEX workbook, or it can be called in web applications, or it can be called in analysis for office, or it can be called in EPM add-in.
Hey, Kiran, this is Joseph. I have a question.
Yep.
Like when you say master data BM business warehouse space, is there any like change in the ECC environment and BW environment in IBPF context? Like say for example, when you take you know, customer or maybe vendor, like is there any restriction in the field, or why it is specified like that?
See, basically, if you see the content, yeah, standard content, whatever is available, if you are using
Mm-hmm.
S4HANA, all the info objects
Mm-hmm.
are starting with slash ERP slash. If you remember, BW basically starts with zero, right? All standard
Oh,
info.
okay,
Okay,
okay.
okay.
Mm,
If that is BW uh, system, which is not on S4HANA, then all info objects
mm-hmm.
or cubes are starting with zero standard. If that is part of that BW is part of embedded BW for S4HANA, then the object names are starting with slash ERP slash.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So planning modeler, data slices, we are going to discuss. Data slices is nothing but that work status. Yeah. In IP, the data locking system was enabled with data slices. Now these data slices are working based on work status in BPC. Characteristic relationships, standard functions, Fox formulas, advanced functions, sequences, filters, aggregation levels. These are core BPC embedded functionalities. It is so BPC. Some of you might know what is BPC standard. If you see, the modeling is entirely different when you compare with BPC standard with the BPC embedded. Right. So this is main functionality we are going to discuss. It is now it is what I'm planning. You might have so many questions in your mind, right? Some people already asked me what is the difference between IBPF and BPC embedded, right? And there might be some other questions in your mind. You can ask now. Yeah, it's open. So the first question I'm explaining, what is the difference between BPC embedded, BPC embedded versus IBPF. Yeah. See, BPC embedded and IBPF both are same. There it is going to use same technology. Let's say IBPF also going to use BW real-time info queues, BW multi-providers, BW aggregation levels, planning enabled queries, enable analysis for office and all this stuff, right? The IBPF is basically integrated business planning for finance. For finance, correct? So basically what SAP did with SAP S4HANA finance, simple finance add-on, yeah, they introduced some planning content for cost center planning, internal order planning, WBS element planning, P&L statement planning, balance sheet planning. So whatever I told now, all are finance related planning options in ECC. Earlier, ECC used to have cost center planning, internal order planning, WBS element planning in ECC itself. Now, SAP enabled all those scenarios using BPC embedded functionality and they named it as IBPF, Integrated Business Planning for Finance. SAP developed some standard content for this. They already developed the planning layouts. They already developed analysis for office workbooks. They already developed planning functions required for this. They already developed retraction related functions. You just need to activate those functions. You just need to activate that PI content, right? So that is part of how to do that. So you activate that particular IBPF functionalities. I muted you all again. So activating that S4 HANA finance related content, if any enhancements to that content, let's say S4 HANA finance as a real-time info cube, one info cube is coming, let's say cost center planning. In this cost center planning, you want to add some more new cost centers. Then you have to enhance this particular /ERP/cost center characteristic, or you have to create a new characteristic. You want to add that existing standard content cube. These type of enhancements part of this particular IBPF. So BPC embedded, not only this particular finance related content, it is going to deal with all planning scenarios, whatever you are going to deal with BPC standard or other planning tools, right? So the scope of BPC embedded is high when you compare with IBPF, but the technology is same. Yeah. So BPC embedded is used for sales planning, product cost planning, whatever cost of goods manufactured planning. BPC embedded is used for shipping cost planning. BPC embedded is used for purchase plan, and BPC embedded is used for all finance related planning, balance sheet planning, cash flow planning, and P&L statement plan. Yeah. Any questions from your side?
Yeah,
Is it
Anand, you
possible
told.
for yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, Anand, you
Go
told
ahead.
that.
Yeah, Manoj.
Yeah, Anand, you told that. Yeah, you told that man, like you can directly connect to the ICC system, or you can through BW also. On top of BW, you can build the real-time queue and you do the planning.
Correct.
So, like directly in ECC in S4 HANA, how you connect to the BPC embedded, how it works, because that will be very TPN. Here in the BW, we used to have OLAP, and there we, on top of cube, or you know, in the BW side, we create the you know, real-time queue.
Yeah, basically
So how do you?
data is there in tables.
Yes,
Tables in the sense all
yes,
those tables are available as views in HANA, right? On top
right.
of these views, CDS views,
Mm-hmm,
we are going to build up
mm-hmm.
virtual providers in BW. These views are connected to BW virtual providers. That is how we are going to get
Okay,
the
okay,
real-time info.
okay. So like views, who will create the view, like attribute view, analytical view, all those views that has to be there, right?
That has to be there. That should be, see, if you can use standard views if available. If not, you have to create those views, whatever required based on your requirement.
Okay, so that whose job it will be? It like BPC consultant has to create, right? Or it's kind of like you should know this one as well, right? To create the views and all
See, it
in
depends.
HANA.
If you can give the requirement, HANA consultant has to create these views, right? But
Okay.
it is always good if you know the procedure,
Mhm.
or if you know the concept or technology of creating these views. It's not a big task. You
Okay.
can do it. It's easy
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
Joseph.
Kiran,
Yeah, go ahead.
Kiran Hari here.
Yeah,
I
Harish.
have a small doubt. See, this is integrated business planning for finance. What about consolidation, and is this suitable for a finance background guys?
So I have another course called BPC Standard. There I'm going to teach this
Okay.
BPC consolidation.
Okay. Is this the part of IBPF?
No, IBPF is only for planning. No, IBPF is
Only for.
consolidation is not there in IBPF.
Okay.
In this
Okay.
scenario, I'm
So
not
Anand.
this
going to discuss
IBPF.
consolidation. Only planning I'm going to discuss. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
Anand. So this BPC embedded is having the no, recently 3 months back, you know, they launched the consolidation as well, right? So
Correct.
like how we will get to know that how the things will work in consolidation?
That's what, I mean, documents are not released from SAP yet, right? Whatever, how
Okay.
this
So
project.
you mean to say that no company has yet started implementation?
They started
Or
implementing. See, when I'm implementing
okay.
S/4HANA, people definitely customer says I will do. If I use planning for BPC embedded for planning, I also want to use consolidation in BPC embedded only. So whatever functionality this BPC embedded consolidation is, as it is in BPC standard consolidation. There is, if you know BPC standard consolidation, you can do BPC embedded consolidation. There is no change.
Okay, like all the other things like general posting and the whatever feature that we are having.
Hmm,
So like same thing we can do it over there, like business rule that we having in the standard. So
correct.
here how it will work? So
Same.
planning
BP,
functions is there. There
let's
is there any
Manoj, let's restrict to
yeah.
BPC embedded planning, right? Consolidation, okay, anyway, you ask the question, I will explain.
Hmm. Okay.
Dimensions you create in BW, the whatever objects, dimensions or info objects available in your real-time provider, when you add it in BPC embedded, those info objects will be shown as dimensions in BPC embedded. Those BPC embedded dimensions, well, let's say company code, if you want to add the currency property or whatever other properties related to consolidation, you can add it manually in BPC embedded screen. Audit trail, you can add it whatever data properties you require, and you can define the business rule as like BPC standard. You can define the script logic as BPC standard, and it will work. Ownership manager is available, consolidation monitor is available, journals are available. You can use this function. Yeah,
But the script logic will not work, right? That you need to have the Fox code.
for this script logic is there. Yeah,
For consolidation, script logic is there.
yeah.
Where I will write script logic?
Manoj, I'm saying right. This let's restrict to BPC embedded planning, right?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Joseph.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah,
I mean, my question was about like activity planning, all those things, like whatever we do in KP 06 and all, it will come to IBPF, no?
exactly. Yeah,
Okay,
whatever
cool.
you are doing in the KP 06, the budget for cost center, that
Mm-hmm.
comes to IB.
Yeah, yeah. Suppose if I take a WBS and I do a detailed planning for the primary cost element as well as the activities, so that also will be reflected, no?
Come again?
Suppose I do a WBS planning for primary cost element and activity. That also will be reflected in IBPF, no?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Good.
So Kiran Tom here.
Yeah,
I
Dhamma.
want basic question.
Yeah,
Without understanding BPC standard, can we go to BPC embedded? Whether I am able to understand, or we have to complete first MBCC standard consultation and all.
see, if you want to learn BPC embedded, you can learn. See, BPC standard came recently, right? So, say 6 7 years. Prior to that, SAP used BPC embedded only. That means IP, integrated planning for this all planning scenarios. So there is no
Okay,
dependency on BPC standard or BPC embedded.
okay, okay. So after this session, I will call you. Okay.
Yeah, you can call me on WhatsApp number only. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do it.
Any other questions? Yeah. So tomorrow will be the first session.
Hello?
Yeah.
God here. Can BPC embedded run on non S4HANA?
Can you repeat?
Can it only run on, you have to have S4HANA for you to do BPC embedded, or you can run it just on standard ECC?
You can run on standard ECC, but your BW should be on HANA. So if you see the architecture, you can connect ECC on HANA or ECC system to BW, right? Any ECC system you can connect to BW. In order to use BPC embedded, that BW system should be on HANA. Yeah.
Can I ask, Karen, can I just, once we finish this call, can I have I wanted a couple of things I need to ask you, but if you're free just for a couple of minutes after the call, not directly connected, but not technical.
Sure.
If that's okay. Yeah, okay, thanks.
So, Anand, I have one more question.
Yeah, man.
Like in S4 HANA, you can, saying you can create views and directly consume those views in the BW. Okay. So suppose you have the ECC system. So there also the same thing applies, right? There also ECC system you have the HANA, and there you create the views, and that views will get consumed in BW.
So you're
or
saying
how it will connect?
The ECC is on HANA or any database?
ECC on HANA. No, ECC on HANA.
No, ECC on HANA. Yeah.
So from there, if I need to connect my BPC embedded without having BW,
without
that
having,
will work. Yes.
The modeling the modeling of BPC embedded happens in BW. So without BW, there is no BPC embedded.
Yeah, that is fine. But what I'm talking about that, to load the data without loading the data from like ECC to BW directly on the real-time data, OLTP.
Correct. At that time also in BW, you have to create virtual providers.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other question?
For practice, do you suggest any vendors?
Yeah. We have 2 vendors. Yeah. So let me discuss with them. One of them we can use. We have vendors. Yeah.
Kiran, for tomorrow's session, do we need a system in hand or
Not required. Tomorrow's session not required. I just give the overview and I will show you the system how it is.
Yeah, I have already 1506 FPS 01 already.
1606.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
1506 FPS 01. That is 1602. Is that okay?
That's okay.
Okay.
Right. And one more thing, recordings are not. I mean, I'm not recording the sessions. Yeah. That's what I want.
So, but are you providing any hard, soft copy of the training material?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So you will get all the configuration steps. What I'm going to do. I'm going to share the document. I'll prepare a document and I will share the document which can be used for your future references.
Perfect. Okay.
Quick question for now. What's the level of knowledge needed on a project for this? Like, so how important in terms of BPC projects is this compared to the previous course?
When you say previous course,
so previously it was a BPC embedded, and then you're saying standard is the new one. Is that right?
No. Previous was BPC standard. BPC embedded new one.
Yeah. Sorry. So standard. So embedded. How important is it for an implementation perspective? Or would you say the standard is the main thing is embedded is if you want to be an expert, or how would you look at it?
Okay. See, if I look like BPC embedded or BPC standard, the thing is how the process is implemented. What are the integration points we have? Whatever I can do using BPC standard, all those things can be done using BPC embedded. So whatever the tool nowadays, what's happening when the product is sold, right? They just sell. Let's say, for example, S4HANA Finance. Right? The customer bought S4HANA Finance. Yet, as part of scope of services, what they are going to add, S4HANA Finance migration, it's one scope. They will add SAP Cash Management. They will just add IBPF, Integrated Business Planning Finance. So, in one project, in S4HANA project, finance project, you have to do this particular BPC embedded related configuration also, because IBPF is nothing but BPC embedded. Second scenario is I have BPC standard already implemented. This BPC standard, all the planning scenarios are working there, right? Because of this real-time data acquisition or other functionalities, I want to move this BPC standard functionality, whatever is their planning scenarios, to BPC embedded. It's kind of migration from BPC standard to BPC embedded. That is another type of project. The next one is, let's say mine is a real estate company. I want to understand what is my project cash flow. I am implementing S4HANA system. I'm not talking about any add-ons. I have S4HANA system. I want to implement project cost planning for particular real estate scenario. Then on top of this S4HANA, I will develop BPC embedded system, and I will enable all this project cash flow planning related stuff. Let's integrating with PPM, integrating with PS, and all those modules. So, well, as part, if you understand the project cost planning, how it will be done, then you can, tool is okay. There you create model, here also you are going to create model. There means BPC standard you create model, in BPC embedded also you create model, but the model is linked with the real-time info cube. So you should understand how to create that particular real-time info cube.
Right. Okay. Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Right?
So,
Yeah.
Anand, you will show that.
Yeah.
You will be having the system, and there you will show that, right?
Yeah. I'll show
How it
this.
works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Kiran, this is Naga.
Yeah.
How much BW knowledge required for BPC?
BPC embedded, right? So whatever required knowledge I'm going to teach you, and also I will share some documents. If you go through, I prepared whatever BW related stuff we should know as a BPC embedded consultant. I prepared those documents. I'll show those documents. Also, I have BW related basic recording. I'll share those.
Hey, Kiran, I joined just now. This is Sundar. I'm
Yes.
just wondering,
Yeah.
hey, will you show me the data load from Simple Finance to BW to BPC basically I'm looking at something to integrate Simple Finance and integrated planning, that embedded planning.
Right. So I can show you that. It's part of the course. See the actuals what I'm taking. So we can discuss the scenario with virtual providers also. See, one scenario is with standard and real-time info cubes. Another scenario is we can discuss virtual providers and real-time info cubes. When I say virtual providers, from the Simple Finance system or S4HANA Finance system, whatever views are there in HANA, those views I can connect to that. So we are going to discuss.
Yeah, we are going to discuss, but the server access and the training material, training will cover all that.
Yeah. Server access, I enabled already this type of things in the server, so that's not a problem.
Okay, the server will have a real-time thing to do Fox code and all?
Yeah. It has, yeah.
Do we have to record like ourselves? If we're interested to record, we'll have to record it ourselves.
No,
That's
actually,
fine.
I am not recording. I'm not giving the option to record.
Okay.
You can attend n number of times. That is not at all a problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you are going to have all 5 days?
Yeah, 5 days, Monday to, yeah, I just explained those.
Okay.
So we have sessions from India weekdays, correct? That means Monday to Friday. What is the time? 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. The same
Yeah,
time.
Anand, it is.
Yeah, I am Kiran Manoj. I am not Anand.
Sorry, I'm Kiran. Okay. So, Kiran, the timing, can you shift it on weekend, like Friday, Saturday morning, or some any time that is suitable for some other candidates as well?
So basically, if you see here, this is already this week we'll go with this. Yeah, Monday to Friday because already scheduled. Already the mail is released. Or tomorrow we can discuss this schedule again. Tomorrow morning after the session. Yeah.
Okay.
USA basically Sunday to Friday. There is a difference, right? Sunday to Friday.
And
9
how many days it is going to be?
p.m. to
Sunday to Thursday.
Yeah, Sunday night to Thursday night.
Yeah, that's EDT rather than Pacific.
yeah.
So how many hours is this for? Like, is there like 2 hour session, 1 hour session for how many times?
See, minimum 30 hours it will take. Yeah. It will be 30 to 40 hours in between.
And this
And
is
when is the like simple finance like cash flow, all those things start? Is it separate or with in concurrence with this?
Okay, I can show that once I can give a demo on IBPF functionality. It's part of this only. See, if you know BPC Embedded, that means you know IBPF. I will try to cover both. Not try, I will cover both.
No,
BPC Embedded.
no. My question is like simple finance, then cash flow, then the migration part of this.
Right. See, simple finance cash flow is part of SAP cash management. Right. I am going to teach that one as part of S4 HANA finance course.
Okay. So that will start after the end of this 30 hours.
That simple finance, I'm going to start next weekend somewhere like that.
So is it separate session?
Yeah, it's a separate session. Yeah.
Okay, so you send me one in invitation for that as well.
Sure.
you can send me for that as well. That'd be great.
Sure, I'll send. Yeah. Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Please write an email if you have any questions. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Bye, Kiran.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.